Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you all are doing very well. This is me, Reshma Ravindran, and today we are going to look into the most asked question to me on Instagram. Obviously, you guys have seen the subject line, but before I go into the video, please do subscribe to my channel because that is what motivates me to make more videos. And also, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Reshma Ravindran Brands. And now, without any further ado, let's dive right into the video. So, starting off with the overall organization of the college and how they handle things in general in terms of communicating with the students and organizing a timetable, and how prompt they are with their responses, and how they are actually conveying the information about the upcoming classes. So in that thing, I really think that Lambton College is doing an amazing job, because I feel that most of the times when I have a class ahead, or if there's a fee payment that's due very soon, I am always aware of the date like well in advance. And also, if I have any doubts, like if it is like even the simplest doubt, we have a lot of contacts and we know where to go to, and we know that we are going to be responded at least within 24 hours. I'm talking about business days. So that is something pretty amazing, because if I have a doubt, I know the email ID, I just have to talk to them and I know what's the next step. So a question that comes along with this is that how is the timetable in general? Because usually a lot of students worry if they would have ample amount of time to go for a part-time job, because of course that's very important for us right now. So in talking about the timetable, I felt it was very flexible for me, because I had ample amount of time to go for a part-time job, come back and do assignments. I have felt that sometimes it could be a little hectic because of the assignments and everything. In general, we are like, I don't know about everyone else, but in general, I have not been, exposed to doing that many assignments in a term. So all of a sudden, when that was given to me, I was a bit overwhelmed. So there has been stressful days for me when I had to go for a job and then come back and do assignments. But that's how things have to roll, right? Like, we are here, we're doing our studies, and we also should do our part-time job. But also keep in mind that your preference should always be your college, not your part-time job. I've actually mentioned that in a lot of videos as well. Of course, part-time job is important because that's what is going to give you bread and accommodation and everything. But yet, you need to focus more on the studies. So in terms of the timetable, I felt that Lambton College informed us well in advance about the timetable, so that we are prepared about the shifts that will be available, and we can inform that to our employer well in advance. So that is really great, because I also heard, a lot of people ask me if there would be changes in between the schedule and everything, but I don't think that's the case, because if a timetable is fixed, there's not going to be any change unless requested by the entire class. So I'm going to just give you an example of how my timetable works. So basically, it's not like how we have it in our home country. I don't know how the rest of the countries work, but at least for India, we usually in college, we have around 8 hours a day, at least 7 to 8 hours a day we actually go to college. But here it's kind of different, because we have very few subjects, obviously, and also we have it in term wise. So basically, per day, let's say I'm going on Monday, the maximum amount of time I would be spending is 4 hours in a day. That's how things work. I don't think you'll have a lot of classes, and I don't think you'll be bombarded by it, but at the same time, you will have a lot of assignments, and that is what I felt. Even though the classes were it was not very time consuming for me basically, but of course the assignments were. Talking about the faculty, I felt that they were very approachable, because even if we had any doubts, we always had an open conversation with them, because they were we could reach out to them on Teams or maybe in person, and they would always answer your question, even in times when they kind of disagree with what we say, or sometimes we disagree with what they say. They actually give us the space to convey our opinions, and they're always ready to help, and that's something that's really wonderful. And one thing that I really enjoyed about the faculty members was that the faculty members are people who are actually very well experienced in their industry. So they know how the Canadian work culture is, and how things work in an organization. So they kind of give you that knowledge as to how things are in the workforce, and they are not just people who are trained educationally, but also if educationally is a word, I don't know, but also they are very well experienced. So that is something that I think that's really great about the faculty members. Also, I noticed that the faculty members were always like very well prepared when they came. So I felt like really confident about how they taught us. So that was really great. They always had a deck, and they always gave us references, and we knew where to go. We actually have a software called D2L that we use, where all the information is uploaded, and also we get information about the upcoming exams, and you'll have a lot of mock quizzes that they upload, so it is very easy for you to be prepared. And usually I would suggest that all the faculties, they upload the content in the D2L even before the class happens. So if you can do like a pre-read before you go to the class, it would really be helpful. Not that I'm telling you that I actually did it for all classes, but I'm just suggesting it to you guys so it's much easier for you. In terms of the campus, I think that it is a really wonderful place, because I felt that it was well equipped, and also it is one of the biggest research colleges in Canada. So I think that if you're doing a technical course, it's a really amazing place. And even in terms of library, you have so many books to refer, whether you're doing a technical course or a management course. There are so many books that you can refer. So I think that's a really great opportunity. And I have actually done a campus tour video, so if you guys haven't watched it, I'm going to leave the link in the description box below so you guys can check it out. So in terms of the exam, so I was in the online course. So obviously we had things like lockdown browser and so many other things that we are supposed to do. And obviously now, since everything is moving back to in person, obviously you'll be taking the exam in person, but still you will be doing it on your laptop. You'll still be having lockdown browser. I'm not sure if that's the case for all the other courses, but of course for the project management course you will be having a lockdown browser. But I heard that it's not the case for all the other courses, so it's completely up to you. So in terms of the integrity part, now this is something that is very, very important and taken very seriously in Lambton College. I know, back in our country, at least in my college, if we are doing assignments, it was completely okay to take content from the from internet, and we don't have to really give the source of where I got the content. Or sometimes I have just copied the content from my friends and given it to the teacher, and it was no big deal in our country. But it's not the case here. Here everything is taken very seriously. Even if you cheat in the exam, or if there is something that's, if you've copied it from someone, or if you've taken the content from Google and you've not given the source for it, it's a serious issue here, and there's a lot of consequences that you will face if you do not follow the exact protocol that you're supposed to do, because there's a high possibility that it will come on your permanent record, and I don't think it's going to really look good when you go to another employer and they see you being caught for integrity issues. That's going to really have a black mark on you. So please do not get into anything like that. Lambton College really takes things seriously, and please do not get into trouble, guys. That's the most important part. I really think that most of the things that you do here in terms of assignments and exam, most of the weightage is given to the assignments. So even if you don't do well in the exam, if you do well in your assignments, you're going to crack the course anyway. So it's important for you to understand this and focus on your strengths, because to be honest, I am not really good at the quizzes and everything, and I always used to focus on assignments, and the quiz and everything is something that it takes a lot of time for me to learn and do things, but I still think that I got a good score with my assignments. So keep that in mind, that you plan out how you want to get your marks. Do not do anything that's going to affect your future. The college does organize a lot of extracurricular activities. So in terms of we do have a student association that constantly organizes field trips and everything, and also constantly we do have a lot of culture workshops and so many other things that you get exposed to. So I think that it's pretty great that we have this opportunity, because unfortunately, of course, when I joined, it was during the COVID time, and I was not able to do most of the things. But of course, there were a lot of field trips. Like right now, they're actually taking people to the Niagara and everything. So yeah, of course. So that is really great. It's very student friendly. Even the cost is very subsidized for you. So yeah, that's pretty great here. Also, another question that I keep getting is that if I do this course, will I get a job? Is there campus placements in Lambton College and everything? I think I've already answered this in my previous videos. Like I said, no one, literally no one can assure you a job. Whichever college you study or whichever university you're going to study, no one can actually assure you a job. If someone, or if your consultancy or someone is telling you that if you study in this college you're going to get a job, be aware, it's definitely a scam. You need to stay away from that consultant. We do have a lot of career fairs, of course. So you need to keep in mind that career fairs is not the same as campus placement. In terms of campus placement, I'm back in our country, we used to have people coming to the college, and we used to have actual interviews with the recruiter, and that's how a lot of campus placements work. But here we have a career fair. A career fair is completely different. So basically, this is a space where you get to know what are the options available for you and where you can actually apply. So that is the difference here. So there is going to be a lot of career fair. I did attend one, and to be honest, I was kind of disappointed with the career fair, or maybe because I expected more from it, because I am a project management student and I did not find any opportunities for me there. It was very limited, and I felt that the companies that came there were more in line towards part-time jobs and not in line with project management. So that was there. Of course, there were big companies like CIBC, which the banks that came in, like CIBC, BMO and everything. But again, this is a place where you just introduce yourself. This is a place where you network with potential recruiters, but this is not a place where you can find a job. So do not misunderstand a career fair. So at this place, you go and see what are the opportunities available for you. Keep that in mind. Maybe give out your resume in a couple of places. If you're lucky, they might call you. If not, you can keep those opportunities in mind and probably use it later. So this is how a career fair works. But the career fair that was organized in Lambton College, I felt it was more of, inclined towards part-time jobs, so not something that's related to full-time jobs. Of course, there were a couple, but obviously it was not course specific. So yeah, so that is there. So end of the day, obviously it's our responsibility to find a job, develop the skills that you need. And one thing that Lambton College does do is that we did have a lot of career coaching sessions where we were given a faculty who can actually take a look at your resume, who can actually help you work on your elevator pitch and so many other things. So they make sure that you are prepared for the Canadian workforce. They make you understand how the Canadian workforce works, but they can actually guide you in a very good way. So we do actually have courses there, and of course Lambton College also provides a tool for resume building, so that's really great. You can check out that as well. But this is the extent of how much Lambton College can help you, but the rest of the things are completely up to you. No one can assure you, if you do this course you'll definitely find a job. No one can tell you that. So also, if you ask me like what is the scope of each course, that is a research that is something up to you, that you should be doing it. So keep that in mind and work accordingly. So generally, if you're taking a course like project management, and I think that's the case for most of the courses, you are generally put in groups where you do your assignments. This kind of helps you to build that team skills and team ability. And sometimes when you're with really good students and who are really focused, so they give you that information on how things can be done. So when you talk to a lot of people, you get a lot of information, different kind of opinions, and I think that really helps you grow. And I think that handling team members and being like, for instance, whenever you have an assignment, you always have a group of people, and then you will have like one team leader who's assigned to it. And always don't shy away from taking that leadership position, because that's when you know how you can handle a team. So you get to talk to people, you get to handle things in a much more better way. So that is there. And whenever I have worked with students from different backgrounds, the opinions that they give me has always made me grow. So that is a great aspect here. Also, there's a negative side for this, which I should mention, because not always you would have students who are in the same wavelength, right? That's very natural. And sometimes you might find students who are more focused on part-time jobs rather than doing assignments, and you could feel a little lost, I would say. But it's always better to communicate with your team members and talk to them and say, hey, you know what, you should contribute. Only then we'll be able to finish things on time. But still, if you still feel helpless about your team members and you think that you are being bombarded by most of the work, I think you should definitely report that to your faculty. It is a possibility, because even I have faced it, and I'm being honest about it. I have had issues with different teammates and stuff like that. So it's important you focus on your work, you give your best, and of course talk to your teammates to help you out with it. But if you still feel that they're not helping, obviously you know what to do. Now let's talk about the location of the college. You all know that I'm actually part of the Lambton College Sarnia, which is definitely in like, obviously Sarnia is a city, but still there's very limited access. It's obviously when compared to Toronto. So that is there, but overall, like, with all three campuses, Sarnia obviously has the biggest campus, so that is the plus side of it. But if you're someone who requires more of a community rather than a big campus, then I don't think you should be preferring Sarnia. But for me, I really wanted the exposure and I really wanted to be part of a big campus with well equipped things. So that is the reason why I chose Lambton College Sarnia. So that is a very important part for me. So when I chose Sarnia, I definitely knew what were the downsides of it. I was told that the part-time jobs were like very limited, but when I came into Sarnia, I really didn't have any trouble finding a part-time job. You guys have already seen my video on part-time jobs. If not, I'm going to link it down in the description box below. So this is how things have worked out for me so far. So I didn't find any difficulty finding part-time jobs. And at the same time, even in terms of commute and everything, obviously we had the transit and I was staying very close to the college, so obviously I didn't have any trouble going to the college as well. So it was pretty good for me in terms of all that. But one thing that I really missed was food. Obviously there's like very little Indian restaurants there. Find a lot of Indians in Lambton College, and probably that's the reason why there are a lot of North Indian restaurants available in Sarnia. So I think North Indians, you guys can have like pretty good food, but obviously limited options even for you guys, like but it's fine, you can still manage. That's how I felt. But for South Indians, really someone like me, it's like a complete disaster because there's no food for South Indians for sure. And that was a huge disappointment for me. So there were a couple of places where you can get Indian groceries and everything, but I still felt that it was not enough. There were very limited items and everything, so cooking was a bit difficult for me, but still it was pretty good. So these are like literally the downsides. For me, food was the biggest downside in Sarnia. Another thing that I really missed was being part of a community. Obviously there are a lot of North Indians and everything, and I do not speak Hindi, and that is another downside for me to even get along with people. So I'm a South Indian. I did not find a lot of people who kind of resonated with me, or maybe because the time I went was during COVID, so I think that's the reason why I did not find a lot of people there. Obviously if it was more of in-person class, because my course was throughout online, and then I had like one hybrid final course. My final course was hybrid. So that is the reason, probably that's the reason why I was not able to really make a lot of friends there. But after I came to Toronto, I was able to meet a lot of people and obviously make a lot of friends. So that is something that was kind of lacking there in Sarnia. So even in terms of entertainment, I felt that again that was a bit less. When I went for work and came back like around 8ish or something, I wouldn't find anyone on the street, and that was like really shocking for me, because I felt that Sarnia was a very quiet place, and probably not a right fit for the loud nature that I have. So that's the reason why I think Sarnia was like kind of boring for me. But on the brighter side, obviously I like the campus and everything, but for me, obviously studying is like my priority. So even if given a chance, I would still choose Sarnia again, because other than that, everything was pretty great for me. I had a wonderful experience with the college, and these are some of the downsides that I have to face. But but that's the same even if we choose any other college. So I think Lambton was a pretty great choice for me. That is completely my opinion. Because there were other big colleges that were there, but still I think that Lambton College did give me the the right kind of things that I want. Like it gave me $3,000 scholarship that I did need as an Indian student, and of course the co-op. I needed a co-op program, and it was very flexible for me. Even the faculty was great. The campus was great. I completely loved how the course was designed for me, and I really like the fact that the assignments actually gave me an idea of how things work in project management, and I know I feel very confident going into the workforce. So my personal opinion is that Lambton College was a perfect fit for me, and if someone asks me, I would definitely recommend the college to people. So this is definitely my honest opinion. Obviously no one's paying me for this. I wish Lambton College did, but no, they're not paying. So yeah, so this is my honest opinion, you guys. So I hope that I've answered like literally all questions about Lambton College, and I hope that this video gives you a light on some of the questions that you might be asking yourself. But apart from that, if you are a Lambton College student, and if I have missed out on anything, please do comment down below so that we can help a lot of students know about stuff. Sometimes you might disagree with my opinion. Even in that case, you can comment down below and tell people why you disagree with me. So let's make this a conversation and help a lot of students. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Take care. Bye.